Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mitch's Mega Minute. Before we get started, I just want to cover up some things real quick. We were supposed to use this episode to talk more about our Persona fan project, and while that would under normal circumstances be what we're talking about, Nate can't join us today. And truth be told, we only had about half of the cast done. In terms of being fully written out. We have like the bases for them done. And even some of the personas and distortions that we're going to come up with. And when we present all this information, we really want it to be like at very least a beta form, like with images and stuff to go with it. So we're going to postpone that indefinitely. Not indefinitely. We're going to postpone that to a later date once we have everything set up and squared away. But it is on the top of my priority list.
Oh, definitely.
So I just have to write out some of the characters and stuff like that. And if you want a quick preview of any of that, I highly recommend going to our Discord. I made a small section devoted to our fan project where it has a little bit of an info dump for general stuff, and we have some of the characters that we do have written out. And so far we have 5 main characters out of our 8 that we're trying to make. Our 8 or 9. And so we're going to kind of tell you guys about that as it continues, but if you want information first and foremost, or if you want it, before everyone else, go check it out at the Discord where I've written out some of the stuff. Today's episode's going to be a little bit of a mishmash of different things. So before we go, I actually made a small edit right before this, and I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share that with the class real quick.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it looped there, but the point is that the point is that it did, and then I didn't plan that out proper. Fucking ugh. Yeah, sorry everyone. I had no time to prepare for this episode, due to just circumstances. So this is gonna be kind of a weird one. But we do have some things to talk about. Before we go into any of that, let's go ahead and get into channel news. So this week we're gonna try our best to beat fucking Fire Emblem. We have to beat Edelgard, and I think there might. There's no doubt in my mind there's more stuff after Edelgard.
Is there?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think so.
I was like, we're almost there. We're almost done. I was so excited.
No, we got a bit. I think we still probably have like, I don't know. If I had to wager a guess, I'd say there's Edelgard and there's probably some dumb shit with the magic nukes and Solon and all that shit. And I'd wager a guess there might be 2 or 3 more after Edelgard. I have no idea.
Okay, because I know we still got to deal with like Rhea.
Yeah, and then there's Rhea. So we'll see. But the good news is I do have the next game for what we're going to be doing after Fire Emblem. And in fact, what's going to happen is we're going to divide Fire Emblem up. Or not Fire Emblem, but the Fire Emblem days up. Where Tuesdays will be one stream, and then Fridays will be a different stream. And so essentially all 3 days will be different things so that you guys can come on whatever day you want. So I do not write this down and embed it in my soul, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be going back to Dongan and finishing up Dongan.
Ooh.
Taking that opportunity to finish it up. I don't know if we're doing that entirely. That's what I'm hoping we do. But as some of you may remember, there's some issues with streaming Dongan, obviously. And, we just hope it works out fine. So, and then I have my surprise game, which I've been wanting to play forever. I've been wanting to play this game like forever, and that's Near Automata. So
Oh fuck yeah.
I will be taking over either Tuesdays or Fridays, and Near Automata will be my game. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of where we're going for. That's kind of what the plan is, and then yeah, Persona is going to continue as usual. I know for a fact that a lot of you are excited for Persona Royale, but please stick with us
Please.
for Persona 5. We're finally at Okamura Foods, which is great, and that's gonna be a fun time. But yeah, so that's what's up with the channel this
Oh
week
yeah.
and for some future plans and stuff.
I mean, I think for me anyway, when I watch people play games, it's all about their reactions to certain situations that happen in the game.
Oh yeah. And who better to watch than the people who voice over your games? Fuck. That being said, there is a one that I just want to talk about, just super quick. It has nothing to do with anything we're talking about today, but I do want to talk about it. um, YouTube recommendations are so fucking weird because they're
Yeah.
never what I expect them to be. And I've never seen the movie Pan. I've never seen this movie, but I'm scrolling through my homepage because, as a lot of you probably are aware, here in the States, a lot of places are shutting the fuck down, and there's a lot of free time on everyone's hands now. For those who can get that free time, and there was just a video that said Pan smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
And this fucking image was the most interesting thing I think I've listened to in a while.
This image.
This image, because that's what it boils down to, right? I know nothing about Pan. I think it's a prequel to Peter Pan, maybe, or it's an origin story. And Hugh
I have
Jackman
no
plays a
idea.
pirate king, and they sing "Smells Like Teen Spirit" like in a huge room of child slaves, or an entire canyon and a mining facility of child slaves. And then
Yeah.
Blackbeard jumps up and he screams singing. Yeah.
I mean, the algorithm's working, right?
I mean, yeah, I'm talking about it. So yeah,
And you liked it.
it was really intense. Like that jump makes it. Josh put it the best. He said, like, you don't need to know anything about his character. Like, everything you need to know about his character is in that jump. That's all you need to know. Because he could have just stood there and screamed it out and put his hands up. No, he jumped up onto the fucking thing, and that's all you need to know about his character.
Yep, there
It,
he is.
Hugh Jackman, man, fucking putting in the work.
To
Fuck.
jump on guard railings.
Uh Anyways, yeah, so that's a completely random piece of trivia. If you haven't seen this, go ahead and check that out. Holy shit. Fuck. Alright, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the game that came out that everyone's talking about, and that's Animal Crossing New Horizons, a game that I'm not playing, but you are.
But a game I'm playing.
That's right.
Oh god.
So, how is it?
It's really good. If I do have one complaint, and it seems to be a commonly shared complaint so far about Animal Crossing, is that Animal Crossing has like a lot of music generally. For like I think it was like every hour it was a different song.
Mm,
That way it wouldn't like drive you insane. But so far all day it's been the same guitar riff over and over and over.
That's it?
Yeah, it's one unless you're on the beach or unless it's like raining. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Oh my god.
And according to them, they're going to be releasing like a patch for it soon so that there's new music all the time. But holy fucking shit. The one song loop, I just turned off like the sound after a while.
Oh man.
Otherwise, it's really good. It's a lot harder than most other Animal Crossing games, which is great because that other Animal Crossing games you'd get bored faster because, it's not very hard. You run out of stuff to do on certain days that you just stop playing after a moment. But yeah, honestly, it's so good.
I mean, that's good to know, because I'm tempted, and I don't even like those types of games.
No, and I totally get it. It's just really sweet. Oceana says Animal Crossing can be hard. Not hard, harder. Kind of like moving on from like addition and subtraction to multiplication is harder, but not hard.
Okay.
So it can be harder. So I really like it and I'm really excited because for the first time in like years, and I do mean years, I'm getting a cat to move into my town and I love her. I haven't even met her yet. All I know is that her name is Felicity and she's a cat.
Oh, what a cat name.
Felicity.
Felicity the cat. Is this a jellicle butthole cat?
Jellicle. Fuck, what was it? Veronica? Victoria?
It was
What
yes,
was
it was Victoria.
There we go.
Okay, you know what? I wasn't going to talk about this. I gotta ask: Are you not? Or I should say, not to segue away. Fuck it. Hang on a second. I need an image. I need an
The
image.
chat is panicking.
All right, no,
No, no.
all right. We're talking about it today, everyone. We're going to talk about it because holy shit! Anytime we find out more about this fucking train wreck, we have to talk about it because that's how it works here in here in Mitch's Minute. Like,
What did you find out about it?
oh, did you not hear?
No. I know, I'm so concerned now.
Oh, Amanda, it is so good. Okay, so here's the deal. Apparently, and mind you, this is just like some I don't want to call it a rumor because it feels more than that. It feels
Okay.
but apparently there is information in which someone was hired on to digitally edit out the buttholes of the cats in the Cats movie. Now I want you to think about that because that implies that someone digitally put in the buttholes for the cats in the Cats movie, and then they had to hire a guy to digitally remove the buttholes of the cats in the Cats movie.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, that's the world we live in. Fuck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I want you to look at that screen, and every single one of those characters had a digitally added butthole.
Um
And then they were told to digitally remove the buttholes. Meaning that there was it was so far into production that they couldn't just go to the guy and say, hey, digitally remove the buttholes. That guy's job was done. They had to hire a completely different guy to digitally remove the buttholes.
So one lone man took the job just so he could see booty holes
And he had to
on Jason Derulo.
yeah, he had to smear them. Judi Dench. Yeah. Sir Ian McKellen.
Like Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I
They
know.
had to hire another man to cover the sins that God did not want to see.
Yeah, so they had. Yeah, in case you didn't know. In case you didn't know, someone was hired on to digitally remove the buttholes from the Cats musical. To which Twitter took that and was like, release the butt cut. Release it. This movie, I believe, is out on Blu-ray, and I need to secure a copy. Oh, what a nightmare.
Isn't there, like...
What a nightmare.
Wait. So, they put this out into theaters knowing that there was buttholes somewhere in there?
No, okay, so this was so when it was released, there was no buttholes. But sometime in production, they had put buttholes in the movie. Like, I need you to understand what has happened here. Sometime in production, they were like, oh, this is probably a good idea. We're going to make these cats realistic and give them buttholes. And then someone said, no, that's dumb. Remove the buttholes. But at that point, it's too late for the guy who added the buttholes to remove them. And so they have to then get someone else to digitally remove the buttholes. And then it's released in theaters, and then they patched it in because of horrible editing mistakes. And now it's available on DVD and Blu-ray. I think.
So
it might not be available. It might not be available on DVD and Blu-ray.
So okay.
This episode was called Entertain Us. And
to add buttholes to the kitty cats, you have to go scene by scene.
Frame by frame.
Frame by frame. Adding to the kitty cats.
Buttholes.
It took us.
Yes. Everything you're saying, yeah. So this is now. I would like to remind everyone this is entirely based off of the idea that someone had posted on Twitter that they knew someone who was hired on to remove the buttholes from the cats. Now, what I'm hoping that means is that, you know, because mind you, these actors are wearing like suits, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the whole reasoning here. Someone had to digitally put in the butthole, and then remove the butthole. So Animal Crossing: New Horizons, yeah. Let's anything else you want to talk about?
Sick monster.
I know.
Was this fetish for?
Someone had to digitally remove the buttholes from the Animal Crossing animals.
I want to see Taylor Swift head cat body with the butthole. Because this is my fetish.
I mean, that's as close as anyone's gonna get to see Taylor Swift's butthole. I mean, that's pretty much it.
And Jason Derulo's butthole.
Idris Elba butthole.
Magneto butthole.
Judi Dench butthole.
Oh my god.
Alright, so Animal Crossing.
I have one last question.
Alright, I'll put the image back up. I'll put it back up.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's one last one, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Do you think he had to look them in the face and go, I'm pretty sure I can guess what your butthole looks like?
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Mistopheles. I'm sorry. Alright.
Look at his face. Look at his face. It's like he knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the face of a man who knows that his butthole's been digitally removed.
Like, he knows.
He certainly knows.
Anyway.
Anyways, all right. So
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing
is really good, and I really like it. And I was very excited to get a brand new kitty cat to my little island. I am perhaps only slightly less excited.
Felicity had her butthole digitally removed.
Oh god. I was so excited. Yeah, oh my god. I'm not as far as everybody else in Animal Crossing. I mean, I'm still waiting on like certain buildings to go up, and they'll be up tomorrow, like the museum and all of my different villagers, their new houses. So Grozen says, "You have ruined that cat for them, Mitch. All they think about when they look at that cat villager is cat's digitally removed rectums."
Well, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Felicity! I'm sorry. Felicity.
Anyways, so you're playing Animal Crossing New Horizons right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went, so before they shut down the GameStops like today, I went in on Thursday, and knowing that there's a chance that a lot of people were going to be inside a lot and that there was going to be a lot of extra time, and knowing that I've kind of slacked off a little bit on my Assassin's Creed gameplay on Odyssey, or not Odyssey, on Origins, I decided the smart thing would be is to, sit down and play the rest of Origins. Nope. No. I didn't do that. What I did was I heard that they re-released some of the old ones onto the Switch, and so I purchased 3, 4, and Rogue, and also 3 came with Liberation, which I gotta play. But yeah, so I've been playing Assassin's Creed 3 for like a couple days now. And
how is that going?
Okay, so here's the deal. I forgot. like
I forgot. I forgot what?
Okay, so I remember when this game came out, it was panned. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people said it wasn't a very good Assassin's Creed game. Some people said the writing was a little bad. And when I bought it, I was like, okay, so I remember having fun with this game. What was it that there's a lot that I just didn't remember, though. And part of what I didn't remember was, holy shit, the writing is, There was moments where it's really good, and there's moments where there's clearly shit missing.
So multiple writers.
Well, I would argue that there's a chance that there's multiple writers, and there's also a chance. I mean, honestly, there could just be this thing had a big release window. Maybe they had to remove a lot of stuff. There is a lot of things where a character will say something like, Connor will say something about like a character named Surrey, and it's like, oh, but it seems that the nation that Washington is just trying to create is one in which only the white man is free. What about Americans, or what about the people like me or Surrey? And I sat there and I was like, who the fuck is Surrey? And then I had to look it up because I'm like, I've been playing this game. I'm only doing the main quest, the main scenario quests, and like occasionally like maybe 1 or 2 side stuff. But as it turns out, Surrey was the name of Samuel Adams' slave, who is mentioned by name in a conversation that but the way that Connor talks about it, it's like this is supposed to be like a really important thing, But the truth of the matter is, I think what happened was I didn't talk to Sam Adams in a certain way, or I ended a sequence too early, and he never mentioned Suri. So now I'm sitting there like, who the fuck is he talking about? Am I playing this wrong? And then there's problems in which I'll be in combat, I'll pull out my sword or something, or I'll pull out my axe. I do a special move with my axe where I throw the axe, and then like I wasn't thinking about it, because so then like later on I'm like, all right, time to pull out my axe, and then I don't have it anymore. It was embedded in that fucking redcoat's skull, and now it's not in my inventory anymore. And then I'm like, okay, well, what if I equipped a different axe? And then like I tried that, and then the slot, I thought it was glitching out because the slot isn't available anymore to use. So I thought I was experiencing a fucking glitch. And then as it turns out, I went online and they're like, yeah, so what you got to do is you just have to go into that menu and click that this is what you want equipped. Do not equip anything else. Equip that single item, and then it'll spawn for you. I'm like, that is nonsense. And so and do not even get me started on the modern sections. The modern sections of this game are fucking atrocious. Like I don't use that word lightly. It is fucking atrocious, because what happens is I am invested. I do care. And like Desmond is like, he has to scale this building in Manhattan and then fucking parachute his way down. But the animation when he parachutes down is weird because he has one leg up and one leg back. And then it looks like he's just like a prolonged tiny jump. Like that's what the animation looks like for his bottom half. And then he breaks into the office and then he meets a guy. Like, and it's like, oh, that's Samuel Walker. And then the subtitles will tell me, oh, that's Samuel Walker. I'm like, oh, who the fuck's that? And then so then he deals with the guy and he's like, well, my boss doesn't want me to kill you, Desmond. And then Desmond fucking does something and not beats him, but like knocks him out and then leaves the building. And we're just supposed to believe that even though the alarm is going off, that Desmond made it out okay. And then he gets back to the cave and he's like, who was Samuel Walker? And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, he didn't say his name. The subtitle told us who that was. Desmond has the ability to read the subtitles and tell him, like, who was that?
Oh, no.
Who was Samuel Walker? And then his dad's like, Samuel Walker was one of us. Also, I fucking hate you, Desmond. Your fucking destiny is important. I am a horrible father.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. I fucking hate you. And then like there's supposed to be like, some duality between Hatham, the main character that you play originally, and then Connor, the actual main character of the game. And there is so many times in which so let's finish off that Samuel Walker thing, right? That's not his name, but I don't give a shit. So Samuel Walker, you see him again in Brazil, right?
Oh,
because you have to go to
Brazil now.
Yeah, you have to go to Brazil to get the second power source to power up the thing. Mind you, the power source to the cave that you're in, is like a big cube. It's like a big Rubik's cube of power. And they tell you, we found a second power source. And it's like, oh, where is it? Well, it's in Brazil. The trophy wife of a big billionaire is wearing it, like as a ring or a necklace or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so it must be like something that looks a little different, right? No, it's a giant fucking Rubik's Cube. And like the how they get away with not showing you how it was a ring or a necklace or something is they straight up kill the woman before you get a chance to even like see how she wore it. It's Samuel Walker. Samuel Walker takes a pistol and fucking like silencer on it and shoots her. And then he fucking starts bailing. And then you chase him down and kill him. I pushed him down to the ground and apparently that killed him. And so this character that they built up, because they're like, oh, Samuel Walker, he was one of us. Like, it doesn't matter because it doesn't, like, you killed him.
A strong gust of wind or fucking a good hard trip would have killed him.
Like, and it's like, oh, so they built him up for nothing. Like, nothing. And that's the problem. There's a lot of writing issues with 3. There is a lot of writing issues with 3. But
Yeah.
for all that it is worth, I am having a very good C- time in the Revolutionary War.
So what do you like about it anyway?
Well, gotta remember the last Assassin's Creed game I played before this was Odyssey. Odyssey had the
Mhm.
RPG system where it's like you level up, you get your gear, the gear has customization, and I really like that system. But I also enjoy old school Assassin's Creed, in which it's the counter system, where you're in a battle with a bunch of people and you kind of have to counter it out. So it's very nostalgic to kind of go back to this. It was a fun reminder that this game is more than 8 years old. um, so and another thing is, I do like the perspectives that they have. I really like Hatham. Hatham might be a dick, but I like his character. Hatham works for the Templars, and I like the perspective of the Templars. I like what they're going for. I much prefer that than Connor. I think Connor's a little hard to like as a character sometimes. Um, I his heart, it feels like when they were writing this, they wrote it so that, like, it's a revenge story. It's clearly a revenge story. Same with Ezio's first one. It's a revenge story. But the
Okay.
difference is that Connor makes a lot of choices and mistakes that I don't understand half the time. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I get it. I do. You're trying not to. Like, we don't have to kill him. It's like, you're right, Connor, we don't. But this is Assassin's Creed. You can't make me feel bad for killing people when I played Ezio Auditore.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little late to make me feel bad. It's not gonna happen, buddy. I'm sorry.
Like, and there's. I do feel like if this game was in production for just a little bit longer, I think the game would have worked out fine. I think if they delayed the game, they added a lot of stuff that they needed to add, it would have been fine. There was a weird moment in which I help out my dad, who my dad's a Templar and I'm an assassin. I help him out, and I'm like, this is the kind of content I want. I want the Hatham Connor relationship. They're on two different sides of the conflict, and I unfortunately agree with fucking Hatham way more than I agree with Connor. And I was thinking about the Shar Aznable school of thought.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so I'll kind of poise like a couple of the things that were addressed. Yeah. So in Assassin's Creed, you're an assassin, and the idea is the Templars are trying to obtain pieces of Eden to gain some level of control over the world, right? That's how it's originally painted. And Assassin's Creed 3 attempts to flip the script and tell you, hey, maybe not everything the Templars did were fucking evil, you know?
Yeah.
And so the first guy you kill, whose name escapes me right now, I think it's like Church, something like that. Um, Church is like, hey, I was trying to broker a deal with the natives of the land, with the Iroquois tribes, and I'm trying to buy the land. And when the leaders come together, they're like, hey, we don't want you to buy the land. We're telling you to get off. And he then threatens them and says, if you do not give me the land, I will end your lives. And then on his deathbed, he's like, why did you kill me? I'm trying to save you, And he's like, what do you mean, Connor? Or what Connor's like, what do you mean? And he's trying to explain that, like, look, like those people doing the revolution, they're about to start the war. It's sure they're willing to trade with you now, and they're willing to put up with you now. But once that war is over and they need to expand this way, what do you think they're gonna do? And we live in the year 2000, 2020, and I'm like, oh,
Oh, okay.
okay, we're going that route, huh? So that was interesting. And then they did a very similar thing where where they addressed the idea that, like, there's a character who's in the Templars or sided with the Templars only because of the money. And, he delivered one of my favorite lines in the game, which was just, I was content having, a beer in one hand and a titty in the other. I can have what I want, but at the end of the day, your hands are empty. Like, speaking upon the concepts of freedom and valor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, there was a very materialistic character. But they do kind of play up these ideas where it's like, the Templars in this case don't necessarily want to side with the British. It's more like they just don't believe that, like, the revolutionaries in Washington will take care of it. And there's even a character, Charles Lee, who is addressing this, and it's just like, what, you think that this was fair? Like, or not Charles Lee, Hatham. His father, Hatham, is like, you think that the people gotta say? It's the rich who chose Washington to be their leader. It was the rich who decide who goes up and who goes, and who is the difference between a soldier and a general. And it's like, well, fuck. Like, you're not wrong. It's complicated. And it's definitely, like, an interesting perspective. Obviously we can, hindsight's 2020, but it is fun that they are addressing some of the issues with our founding fathers, and some of those things. There's a moment where, like, Samuel Adams is like, we have to start the propaganda machine, and Connor's like, that's really distrustful. He's like, well, so what if we're a little flowery with our words, as long as we can ensure freedom? And it's like, oh, fuck. Like, it's like, okay. No, that one hit a little harder. But, like, and that's the part that I like. On paper, there's a lot here that's very interesting. There's a lot here that makes sense, especially for a character like Connor, who doesn't technically belong in their world. They're using him, and he knows it. Connor, we need your help. Connor, you're a war hero. We're never going to talk about you ever again. Connor, you saved Washington. You saved George Washington from from a possible assassination attempt. We're not addressing you ever in the history books.
Yeah, goodbye. Your game didn't do so hot. We'll never see you again.
Goodbye, Connor.
Goodbye forever.
Oh, well, I mean, you're half native. You see, like, a guy scribble out Connor in a portrait.
What's Ezio up to?
Yeah,
we should go check out Ezio.
Ezio! It's time to take a hand. It's time to take a hand of pizza and a titty. It's like, I love you, Ezio.
Ezio.
Ezio. Hey, Ezio. Hey, look, that's the. I think that's the problem with 3. You came fresh off the heels of Assassin's Creed Revelations. Assassin's Creed Revelations is the final game in the Ezio trilogy. You were Ezio throughout his entire life, from the minute he is born to the minute that he dies. You are there throughout his every adventure and everything he does. It's why everyone loves Ezio. But then you skip into Connor, and while Connor and Hatham are very different characters, but Connor's dreams, Connor's wish of freedom is strange, because his journey starts by like a precursor race hologram pretending to be a spirit and telling Connor that he has to do this so that that a true goal can be achieved later.
Oh, okay.
And Connor's on a quest for revenge. He wants to get back at Charles Lee, who he thinks led the attack on his village, because Lee attacked him as a boy. Lee and a couple of the other Templars were trying to send a message, and apparently the message was from Hatham, who is his dad. And it's it's a whole thing. There's a lot of conflicts at hand. And then obviously I know the twist. The twist is that it wasn't the Templars who burned down Connor's village. It was an order from Washington.
Oh. Like George Washington,
Yeah,
or
from
just...
oh no, from George Washington himself. And so now Connor is essentially like, wait, well, that was the attack that killed my mom, and I've already killed my dad and everyone else. Fuck. And it's like, revenge won't make you feel any better, and that's kind of the duality of the game. See, the concepts they present are very interesting, and these concepts would be later implemented into other games, in which the struggle between the Templars and the Assassin's Order, the battle between chaos and order can never truly be won, and that's a concept that they address in games like Odyssey and Origins, in which like, hey, assassins will always be fighting for freedom, but freedom from the Templars' perspective breeds chaos. It breeds the assassins wanted, like Hatham says, hey, there was a time in which you had a much more respectable goal. Your order's goal used to be peace. But and then Connor says, well, freedom is peace. And Hatham says, no. Freedom enables chaos. And it's definitely one of those interesting it feels like a Shar Amuro conflict of ideologies, Like, that's the things I do like. When they start talking about it on the grander scheme of things, that's when I'm, like, really invested, Yeah. It's Assassin's Creed might have its problems in terms of its gameplay, but one of the things I always come back to it for is the stories. I love the stories. I've always been a big fan of historical fiction, and I don't know, it's good shit. It's good shit. But this game
sounds like
it. Yeah. My favorite one is 4. Well, no, Odyssey was really good. I really liked Odyssey.
I know you played the shit out of Odyssey.
Oh my god, that one was so good. Well, that's kind of the trick. I'm hoping what I can do is I can beat 3. There is a DLC called The Tyranny of Washington, in which George Washington it's an alternate reality where Washington becomes a king, and you have to assassinate George Washington. I think I'm pretty sure that's the idea, and then you have like spirit animals and shit like that. It's the whole thing. But that's kind of where I'm at with 3. See, I remember the twist. It's just getting to that point. And admittedly, even playing it a little bit earlier, like, some of the menus, like, don't necessarily make 100% sense to me. Like, there's a whole crafting system, but to get to the crafting, like, I'm spoiled because I played Odyssey, there's a crafting system, but I haven't even been paying attention to it. There's a hunting system, but I'm not doing it,
Right.
And it's just, I feel like at this point it's just a struggle just to get through the game so I can put it down, start Rogue, because I've never played Rogue, or go back to Black Flag. But there is something that I will say is very nice. Never in a million years would I think that I'd be playing Assassin's Creed 3 or 4 being one of my favorite games, on a handheld. That shit is still throwing me off. like the fact that I'm seeing Connor fucking, take down redcoats and sometimes revolutionaries, like, on a handheld device is pretty neat. But yeah, that being said, it's... I wish this game did better, and honestly, I think a lot of it just boils down to, I wish they would have had more time to make the game worth it for them. Like, if they had just delayed the game, it would have been so much better. Taking the time, add the things you need to add, And unfortunately for me, I fucked up because what happened was Hatham says, "Hey, meet me in New York. We'll talk there. We'll do the next mission." And I go there, and there's a little icon I've never seen before, and I go over to them, like to go over to the area, and it's Washington, and Connor, post game Connor, like the way he's talking to him is like, "Why should I help you after what happened?" And George is like, "I need you to take care of Benedict Arnold."
Benedict Arnold.
and I'm like, you shouldn't be talking to him like this. It was so disconnecting because he literally just came from saving George Washington's life from the assassination attempt, and then he was at Valley Forge where he's like, "Oh, hey, are you doing okay, bud?" Like, he's still friendly with him, and then he's like, "Why should I help you?" And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, this is clearly like some sort of DLC thing, or this is clearly some this is clearly like some sort of extra like post-game missions that for some reason I'm able to access in this sequence.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Never call on me again once I'm done. And I'm like, fuck, dude.
Why did you even fucking agree?
Why? Because I'm like, if anyone's playing this for the first time, and it's not like I had to go out of my way to see this mission. It's literally you go into the New York area, and it's the first mission that is like on the side of the road. Like, you can just do it. So like it's very like they don't talk about it, but it's very immersion breaking that Connor is so aggressive to Washington. Because if you haven't beaten the game yet, or if you haven't gone to that point yet, you don't know. That's the big twist of the game. Anyways, I'm having a lot of fun with it though. Like, I'm bitching, but the truth of the matter is, I do have my fair share of fun. I do very much enjoy the Assassin's Creed games. I heard that there's another one coming out sometime in the next year or two called Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, and I'm going to go ahead and pre-order the shit out of that game.
Because Vikings.
Yes, because Vikings. It's literally the mix of two of my favorite things. I will admit, I do feel like half the time I kind of shy away from calling myself a fan of Assassin's Creed, but I do really like the games. I do like the stories. I think it's like almost like a cringe culture. I'm not even sure if that's part of cringe culture, is to like Assassin's Creed, or if it's considered like it's almost like a guilty pleasure. Like, before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, if you said you liked Kingdom Hearts, like, people would get on your case about it. Because like, it's like, oh, you like that baby game made for babies, but now if you say it, it's like, oh yeah, well, 3 just came out, so I get it. 3 was pretty okay. And like, people's public perspective or perception of like certain games is just shitty, I think, like, at the end of the day, because it's dumb. Like, why would you judge someone for what they like? There's a lot of people who just got Animal Crossing, and like, I said I didn't want, I'm probably not gonna get it, and then they fucking like got on my shit about it. They were like, fucking, well, why aren't you getting it? Like, like, hey, or better yet, not why aren't you getting it, it's fucking, well, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you have to fucking, say something about it. I'm like, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not, like, I'm happy if you get it. Don't use that. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Like, I had the same thing happen when Pokemon X and Y came out, where like, I had my 3DS like on campus, and I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3D. And they're like, why are you playing Kingdom Hearts 3D? That game came out a while ago. I'm like, because I wanted to play it. I just got a 3DS. Get off my fucking back.
Let me live.
And people have this need to validate themselves, or like to feel as if there is an oppressor. And there isn't. Just play the games you fucking want to play. Fucking shut up. Shut up. That's all it boils down to.
Fuck off.
Like, who are you fighting against? No one! Like, I don't get it. There is no enemy. I'm playing I like Assassin's Creed, and I can't feel like I can say that without it being like, oh, you're one of those people. Yeah, it's not the best. It might not be like the best game fucking ever, but I still like it. It's like JoJo. You know, like I don't feel like I can say I like JoJo anymore because like JoJo fans became like, to be part of that fandom like is to be associated with this obnoxious obsession with out of context memes and spoilers because like, oh, isn't that wacky? Fuck no. JoJo's actually a really well written series. It's a very well done like manga. I really like it, but I feel like I can't say I like it anymore because then it's this weird association. The fuck off.
Yeah.
Like what you fucking like, as long as it isn't like horribly problematic. Like what you like, you know, like. I don't know.
Just live.
I don't know. That's like if someone like looked at my fucking like shelf, right? They looked at my collectibles and they were like, "Oh, you have Funko Pops of Overwatch characters?" I'm like, "Yeah, because I like Blizzard before all this shit went down." Like I don't know. Like there's some people who are like, "Oh, you still have them," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I spent money on them."
I'm gonna have them.
Why did you just throw it away? It's like, bitch, I don't know, man. There's a part of me that's still holding out hope that Blizzard will change. That J. Allen Brax or whatever the fuck that guy's name is will fucking leave the company and they'll actually put someone competent in his place. Fuck. Anyways, Assassin's Creed 3 for the Switch is pretty solid. I actually can't wait till I can start talking about Nier Automata. When we actually start playing that for the show, that's going to be really, really fun. And that being said, we're going to end today's episode there. Thank you all so much for coming to another episode of Mitch's Minute. Once again, I would like to apologize. I know that this was kind of scattershotted a little, but we do like to have fun on the show. And like, even if we have nothing to talk about, we still like to talk about like something. And like I said before, like with the Persona thing, it'll take some time for us to kind of finalize that. We want to have at the very least the base characters and some drawings of them done before, you know, we start presenting this information. So looks like there's a lot more work for you, Amanda. Fuck. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching another episode of Mitch's Minute. We hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll be back next Sunday for another episode. And yeah, also real quick before I head out, I want to say I really hope all of you guys are keeping it safe. I know that this is gonna get a lot rougher before it gets better. Something that I end up something that ended up happening at work was I work in the food industry. And one of the things that, I mean, I lucked out, if I'm going to be honest, because we have a fast food kind of situation going. We have like a drive-through, and I was able to keep my job. But I know a lot of people who haven't been so lucky. Someone I know personally has gotten laid off due to all the shit that's been going on, and you know, I just want you all to know that, you know, I do hope you guys are staying safe. Do whatever you got to do to, you know, keep yourself even in balance. I know that this quarantine is going to suck. And more importantly, something, like I said, something I keep thinking about is the fact that, hey, this isn't going to be something that just happens, you know, and it's going to be done with by Wednesday. This could be something that goes on for like months. It's starting to sound like. So in that interim, this is the one time in which social distancing is super important, not just because of the disease, but hey, Amanda, we're in completely different fucking states.
Yep.
We've been practicing social distancing forever. So
yep.
And so if there's one thing I can guarantee, it's that this show will still be going on even with all this stuff happening. And you know, I just hope all of you guys are staying safe. Do what you got to do. Make sure you stock up on stuff and, you know, just try to take it easy. And we'll catch y'all next week.
Catch you next week.